Everyone, listen carefully, because with the help of all you clever detectives out there, I believe we have solved the mystery. I have Wadsworth here, and I'm ready to announce the solution to the mystery of what you saw that night that gave you such concern.
Very good. Please do go on.
Yes, as you know, I am a master detective myself, and not only have I solved all your riddles, but I have interrogated all of your suspects and pieced together every last clue and detail to come to this conclusion. On the night in question, Colonel Mustard arrived at the school intent to help with an unknown type of project. Upon finding no one here, he became quite hungry. Colonel Mustard decided to read and have a snack of sausages and other cured meats that he had brought with him. Colonel Mustard set the meat down on the plate, then left to retrieve a small pot, or some might call a teapot, of French mustard stored within his room. At that very instant, Mrs. Kochner, the assistant, saw the assorted meats left within the lobby and cleared and cleaned every room without ever being seen, since she's very fast. Mrs. Peacock then entered, smelling the sweet smoke of the cured meats still lingering in the air. Colonel Mustard was returning, but soon realized that the teapot was empty, having forgotten that he'd finished the mustard earlier in the week, and let out a scream of both hunger and disappointment. Mrs. Peacock fled, and Colonel Mustard threw that teapot in frustration, ran down the hall, and left the parking lot looking quite annoyed. A most concerning scene, if there ever has been one. No wonder you wanted to report it, Wadsworth.
I mean, wow. Just wow. I must say this is an incredible job.
Why, thank you.
I mean, incredible as in unbelievable how you could get it so wrong. That is not even close to the solution. What detective training do you have again?
It's not correct? I thought I had it all down. Where could I have gone wrong? If that's not the solution, then I'm afraid I must insist that you tell us right now. No more of the puzzles or the clues.
All right, fine. I must say this is getting all exhausting. And I suppose the librarian's code is just a set of guidelines, so I will tell you.
Yes, please, go ahead then.
Well, here's the real solution. On the night in question, I began a bit earlier than normal. I do this sometimes and call it a random reading.
A random reading?
Yes, a random reading. Anyhow, as I looked into the library, I noticed Professor Plum standing over a cauldron, laughing and muttering, "Oh, what a surprise I have for the school. Yes, they're going to all get it now. All of them. Well, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. After all, Professor Plum is normally plum delightful, but I wasn't the only witness. At that very moment, Mrs. White entered. She took one look at the scene and let out an ear-piercing scream, and she took off running down the hallway. Well, I had seen enough and ended my evening's random reading a bit earlier. I decided to return the next day and alert you and fulfill my obligation to take care of this school.
Unbelievable. Wadsworth, Professor Plum standing over a cauldron and saying the whole school is in for it? That story is amazing and unnerving. I must thank you for your service to this school. Let's get Professor Plum in here and get to the bottom of this.
Agreed.
Yes, you called?
Yes, Professor Plum. Have you heard what Wadsworth has just reported to me about you standing over a cauldron in the library cackling? What do you have to say for yourself?
Well, Wadsworth essentially has everything correct.
Aha! So you admit it.
Yeah, though I would say it wasn't a cauldron as much as it was a big pot. You see, I've been planning a special project to make treats and warm apple cider for all the students and staff. I was using the big pot to practice and get the recipe just right.
Wait, what? You were standing over a big pot mixing cider that you wanted to hand out to everyone? That sounds plumb delightful. But what was it Wadsworth told us that you were muttering? Oh, what a surprise I have in store for this school. They're all going to get it now. All of them. Oh, like that.
Oh, that. Well, I just spilled a little from the pot onto the ground by stirring a little too hard. And Miss White saw the mess. You know how serious she is about cleanliness. Well, she screamed and ran down the hall back to her room to find some cleaning products. Miss Peacock must have heard the scream and left before seeing anything else. Oh, and by the way, that autographed book that's been missing from the library? Yeah, I accidentally spilled some apple cider on it. and I was worried you'd be upset. So I hid the book on the shelf so no one would know.
You were making apple cider in the library? The book got ruined? What about Colonel Mustard looking annoyed?
Oh, I believe that was from me setting a sample of treats on his desk, and I didn't know he was cutting back on sugar. I believe the gesture caused him to leave right away, looking annoyed.
Well, that does wrap up the solution in a nice little bow. This whole thing was just about you trying to make some apple cider for the school. And you know who's very close to knowing this solution? A lot of our students. So good job to all of you. I want to thank to everyone who helped out this week. I hope you had fun and enjoyed our little episodes. I know I had a lot of fun. It's great to be able to share our school with all of you. Thanks everyone, and thanks for listening. We'll be around sometime today to pass out apple cider to celebrate the end of first quarter.